All right, well, our two players setting up right now, Wolf. We've got both players in the game. We're just going to go ahead and double check to make sure that they are ready, but these are two monsters going head-to-head. One of them will be eliminated. We'll be down to just 5 players. Is it going to be Polt, or is it going to be MC
this is the question, man. I mean, look at the win ratio. It's very good for both of these players. Polt, obviously, coming off of only TVZ in this entire tournament. MC been kind of juggling a few other matchups in this one, PVZ, PvP, and PvT. He's had to face all of those. So, I mean, is he going to be is Polt going to be as focused as MC? He has not been playing against Protoss players in this event, so I'm really curious to see how he's prepared. You know, he's been practicing this morning. I'm sure he practiced a lot last night as well. How prepared is he for this?
You know, and I like what you said, because MC really has had to play sort of a smorgasbord of different types of matches. He's had some tough PvPs. As Total Biscuit mentioned, he had that versus MMA versus Terran early on in the first matchup. So, you know, Polt, is the lack of Protoss play going to have some sort of effect on him overall? You know, he is an outstanding player, so I think we just find out how outstanding he could be with a possible victory over MC. But let's introduce our players here in the Southwest. As the Red Terran, it is TSL Polt. And in the Southeast position, as the Blue Protoss, he's taken down PvP specialists. He took down MMA. It is SKMC.
And we are at both players at bottom positions here, and this is a pretty good position for Polt if he wants to do an early Marine tank type push, or even if he wants to go with that Marine King style 2 medevac +1 push with just a few Marauders mixed in. This is a good position for him to do that. In any map that has a secondary ramp, basically like Tal'Darim does, like Shakuras does, like Ohana does, is a good map to do that type of push. But we'll see if that's going to be something that Polt is going to show us. It doesn't really seem to be his style, especially not the siege tank type push. Sometimes Polt, you'll see him do that build where you add a few siege tanks into the mix to hold off pushes, and they give you a little bit of extra oomph. You can hold off sentry attacks. You can basically make it so your opponent, if he wants to commit, he has to commit. That's the type of thing we've seen Polt do a little bit in this matchup. But I think what we're going to see from him is just very textbook bio play here.
Yeah, I mean, based off of how he's played this weekend, based off of what his strengths are, I mean, really, would you want to, would you want to necessarily deviate from that at all? I'm not sure that you would. And he's shown that, you know, versus his Banelings and all of his Zerg's opponents, he has some great splitting, some great unit control. Depending on the composition that MC goes with, that could be very, very important in this matchup as well. But, you know, the other thing that Polt was doing so great this entire weekend was just anticipating what was coming next. So can he read MC? Can he anticipate what those moves are going to be so that he can be ready like he has been ready versus a lot of the Zergs here during this competition?
That's a great point. Can he anticipate what MC is up to and alter his style? Because so far in TVZ, Polt has been showing literally the exact same build almost every single game, but it's worked for him. I mean, he has shown that his consistency is dangerous. He actually knows how to do the build so well that it's almost impossible for his opponents to deal with it. This probe does come up here and get denied, so he's not going to know it's going to be a command center, and he's even going to be able to make that comfortably on the outside now because he was able to deny that probe scout. Meanwhile, we do see MC with a second gas, which is kind of an unusual choice for this map. Usually you see one gate expands or even Nexus first on this map. Not so much the map to see the double gas build on.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, you've also got to imagine that seeing the closed off depots not getting access. I mean, MC, very intelligent individual. He probably knows what Polt is up to. You know, if he watched even any of his games this weekend, he's going to probably have a good idea of exactly, you know, what Polt's going to have. But how is that second gas going to come into play? We do have our Warp Gate research coming in. We've got, first off, a Stalker and then a Sentry coming out shortly thereafter. And we're about to see here, you know, what is going to be the next plan.
Yeah, he may just go ahead and make a robotics facility. He can also make a Nexus here,
Nexus.
But it's a little bit weird to bank up this much gas and make the Nexus. It's something very few players have been doing. Huck, notably, is someone who does this quite often. Back at Polt's main base, he's adding 2 additional barracks and is not going up to double gas just yet. This is something that you normally see in this matchup. You don't see the double gas as quickly. You see he's taking it here a little bit later because he doesn't need that much gas just yet because he can't research stim and combat shields usually that quickly. We're going to see MC come up here and do a little bit of scouting. He's going to poke at these Marines. but he will be denied. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, the Nexus is going down. That's what we're going to see from MC. You notice he's banked up almost 300 gas here, but that's going to allow him to continue to produce sentries and start teching up with his Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see here Sentry 1 or Sentry 2 is about ready to pop out, and he'll immediately start another one. So just wanting to get those sentries out as quickly as possible. We do have additional gateways in the back here, hidden away from
He's going up to 3 rather than 4 here. Oh my God, Polt getting in here. This is so lucky by him. A lot of Terrans will scout at this timing just to see the composition, but he gets away with this. Sees just the 2 gateways here, though. It's going to make him feel pretty comfortable. This is the 4th gateway. That's the one where you're like, oh, well, he's going to definitely commit to a pretty big attack here. He might need to make 2 bunkers. But in this case, with just the 3, 1 bunker alone with this many Marines will probably be okay for Polt, and he's going to feel pretty comfortable going into the next stage here. He starts his STEM research, probably be starting a factory fairly soon, as well as an eBay.
It does appear that MC might be gearing up for some aggression. He has built a pylon here just outside the 3rd of Polt. He's got a couple Marines now heading down, and what good timing coming out from Polt here. He's going to check for any proxy pylons. And,
he's just barely going to miss it, though.
He is. You know, and he checks those pretty typical positions, and it's actually great timing for MC, whether he realized it or not. In fact, here comes that Stalker just poking his head up the ramp. I do believe he also caught. Yes, he does know that the 1 bunker is there, but that's, you know, he knows that's about all the defense that he's actually got. Here comes some more Stalkers. Man. He's going to have another pylon put through the back. This could be really good.
He's going to trap him for sure. Does trap them. They're cut off from the bunker. No Zealots here, but Guardian Shield goes up. There's enough firepower to kill these Marines for free, and now Polt is in a lot of trouble. This is MC's style. Loves to do these timing attacks. This is what the extra gas was for. It was for these sentries. Guardian Shield going up, trapping the SCVs away from the bunker, and Polt is in a lot of trouble.
Oh, all of the SCVs just on the opposite side. Only 2 repairing now. He is focus firing down that bunker. It is going to go, but unfortunately, the units just cannot extend their damage to these particular units of MC, and so he's doing a great job right now. And, you know, at this point, MC could going for the jugular. He could try to go for the neck, but at the same time, he's done some damage. He could just walk out of here, be content about it.
He warps in the Zealots because it's possible Stim is done and Polt just stims and runs out. So he's got to bring these Zealots to kind of help protect his army there. But in the end, he's going to go back. He only, remember, made the 3 gateways. With 4, there's a lot more power there. There's additional Stalker firepower. But in this case, now he's double teching, getting Robo, getting Twilight Council tech. He's getting his 3rd and 4th gases, and we'll probably start even adding a Forge fairly soon. We'll probably just stick with the 1 right now, since he's actually committed so much gas to the sentries, and he's trying to tech up with his Twilight and his Robo here. But I would expect to see him actually start working away at those rocks, getting a Forge, and preparing for that 2 medevac push that's likely going to come to follow this up. You see combat shields already on the way. Starport is finishing up, as well as that reactor there is going to do the switch. And this is basically the textbook push that you see. Remember, though, Polt does not have +1. As far as I know, he's not been able to research that. He doesn't start it just yet, so that's going to make this push a lot weaker.
Yeah, and, you know, I just want to, again, point out MC just with some great you know, I guess he gathered the right information. He had his pylon placed, he placed the other one, but he continuously used that Stalker to try to spot where the Marines, what am I dealing with in terms of defense. He knew that the 1 bunker was there, but, you know, oftentimes if you can get that jump on your opponent, get that surprise, with all those force fields that he had, that was just a remarkable initial engagement for MC.
He got that because you're so right. He got it because of the scouting he had with the Stalker. He's like, all right, your Marines are here. They're right here. I made sure you didn't see my units. I had the watchtower. You didn't see me, and I'm going to grab half your army and kill it. And that's just basically a freebie for him. I mean, that is just so important for you to have early on. I've said this so many times before, but in this matchup, you don't want to kill SCVs as much as you want to kill army. If you can get away with killing that army, you have so much more freedom. Great positioning here by Polt, but MC has a lot of units, and his blink is about to finish. He may decide to use that to be aggressive here. Does decide to fall back. I think this is the smarter choice, because if you blink forward, you never know what you're going to hit.
Yeah, you just want to be careful about that. And again, you know, the damage has kind of been done. However, Polt just did load up a drop right outside the natural. It's going to go in and try to drop inside.
But there's Stalkers in position. He blinks underneath, and he's going to catch the drop. This is great for MC. Polt drops out some of his units, but he's going to lose so much here. Look at the supply difference now, 120 to 90. 2 medevacs going down essentially for free here,
And you know what? Yeah, at the cost of what? An assimilator? Yeah, I'll take that trade any day. I do not believe that MC even lost a single stalker. If you look, there's one stalker back. It's limping a little bit. It's got a few extra band-aids. That's the only one that almost died. And now, of course, Blink has been exposed. MC starting to push his way forward.
He
got
just
plenty
has
of
too
zealots.
much, man.
He's got way too much. In fact, this could just be a walk over here at the front. All of those bunkers have been salvaged at this point, and there's really no defense here for Polt.
Yeah, I mean, Polt can fight these stalkers straight up, but if he turns around and uses stim, then the zealots will eventually catch up to him and shred through those units. Now the zealots coming in here, more reinforcements for MC. MC looks like he wants to commit here. This is going to be a good position for Polt, but again, MC just has so much that he's going to trade well here no matter what. He's got a third base finishing up. He's got charge on the way, 6 additional zealots being warped in at this moment in time. I think now maybe the time for Polt actually, or rather for MC to pull back, but he's continuing to do damage, takes out a medevac here, getting more SVs, and he's going to pull back now, taking a 20 supply lead. He's got Storm on the way, he's got that charge upgrade, and most importantly, he has a third Nexus.
Yeah, and that third Nexus, I think, is kind of like, I mean, for MC, it is really going to be the comfort level that he wants to be at this point. He's already done an amazing amount of damage. Now we're going to have some Archons thrown into the next mix. As you mentioned, Storm is going to be finishing up soon. Now, the one pylon that was reinforcing south of the natural is gone, but it was amazing that MC actually had that up still even beyond that first attack. He could be gearing up for number 2, and having this other pylon here on the far east side next to his third could help for reinforcements as well. No sentries here to combat this, so the stalkers will blink back, and Polt just trying to get some resemblance of an army together right now. He's constantly been knocked down. He is sitting at 1-1 Wolf, but over here MC, actually MC upgradeless.
Yeah. Completely upgradeless,
Yeah.
in fact. No forges in sight, and this is something that's going to eventually start to hurt him. Polt now at 1-1, and there are the double forges as if he's hurt us. Stalkers blinking to the side here, allowing the Zealots to close the distance, and sheer numbers are very much so in MC's favor right now. He's trying to pick up these units. Storms do not care about upgrades. Here they go, dropping them down. MC's Zealots, though, are at the back in this fight, but even so, he just has so much wheat, and he's pushing through here. I'm not sure if Polt's going to be able to hold on much longer.
Yeah, those Storms soften those units up so nicely. Now the Zealots going in to finish them off. The Archons also in there while all those units are bunched up. He's got the Stalkers in the back. He blinks forward. Only half of these units for Polt here are actually firing away. And although it does look like once again he will hold, the damage has been done. SCVs needed to be pulled in order to defend that. And, you know, I mean, the upgrades are starting now for MC, but I feel like his tech is going to be too strong once those upgrades actually do catch up. I mean, only now we're starting to see 2-2 for Polt, but beyond that, you know, he's just going to continue his bio building here.
Well, MC is adding 4 more gateways right now. It's going to put him up to a total of 12 gateways on 3 bases. And you can kind of support that, but he's not really looking like he wants to take a 4th base here. And again, he's still consistently behind on the upgrades. This battle, though, with the Zealots coming in for the flank, I think may just end Polt. He just does not have the army size he needs to hold. Now he's not going to be able to kite back. Storms are going down. Great trap by MC. And, I mean, we talk about the upgrades, we talk about the micro of Polt, but it just does not matter. MC taking an early lead and running with it.
And killed a few medevacs there on that final volley of Storm. Here comes a lot of units just surging forward, and we will see those Zealots rip apart the remaining forces of Polt. The SCV is going to be pulled off the line. Archons ripping through these units as well, and it looks like first game will go to MC. GG! Says Polt.
Yeah, man. MC looking very strong, very map aware in this game. Catching those earlier Marines gave him a pretty nice lead, and then he didn't really overextend from there. Guys, we have a special treat at the analysis test. Not only do we have the lovely Total Biscuit, but we have Axlav, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this game.
That was definitely a very exciting game. I think, you know, Polt made a pretty big oversight early on when he scouted those sentries. When you see that many early sentries, it's almost always going to be a gateway push. He left his Marines out of position. And then MC, it always plays so safe in PvT. One thing we've noticed in his PvT is that he often gets 6-7 gateways, no forges, no fast tech, and just make sure he has a strong army. And then when Polt tried to come at him with those dropships that played straight into his hands, right? He had so many units, he had Blink done, and you know, he had such a firm grip on the game from that point on.
Yeah, you're right. His drop defense was absolutely stellar, even having the Stalkers in position. His Blink was done extremely quickly, and he made the choice to go Blink and Robo at the same time, which is a choice that's kind of hard to make because you want to get your Forge upgrades out too. But he skipped on the Forge upgrades and actually just wanted to power it. I have a big army, and so the upgrades they're going to be my secondary concern, not my primary concern.
I mean, got the Observer out. He was building a Warp Prism at the end there, but I think that was just kind of like, well, I need to really seal the deal here. I don't want this victory to slip away. But I think, ultimately those compounding errors, as we saw the Marines taken out early, the Medivacs completely thwarted. It was a good matchup, but we're going to be moving on to our second game here. Daybreak, any other thoughts, guys, before we hop into game two?
I just want to point out how decisive every single engagement was for MC. Every time he went in there, he did what he set out to do, and then he left. He never overcommitted at any point.
You're right. That's very true. I think the biggest thing for MC here was his better map awareness than Polt. And as you mentioned, Axel, the biggest mistake for Polt was that he just had his Marines out of position, even after seeing the sentries. But MC, he spotted those Marines. He's like, all right, you're out of position. He didn't even have vision of the ramp, but he checked with the Stalker beforehand, went up there. If the Marines had moved, he could very easily just turn around. He had the Observer out to spot for the main army of Polt while he was defending the drops, just very, very map aware.
And it's crazy to think how much that could have changed the game.
Yeah.
Losing those 8 Marines early on, 0 losses for MC, and then again just sort of stretching his advantage with the death of those Medivacs as Polt was looking for some sort of equalization measure there. It just did not work out for him. But Daybreak is going to be map number 2, chosen by Polt.